The leadership of the Labour Party has declared support for the proposed indefinite strike by the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, set to begin on October 3. In a statement made available to Arise News, the party's factional National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifo, said the Labour Party is in total support of any legitimate means to be deployed by Nigerian workers to press for better working conditions, adding that Nigerian workers have shown patience and understanding. Part of the statement reads,
"The Labour Party is not in any way surprised at the government's apparent indifference, insensitivity, intransigence, and recalcitrant posture towards the genuine demands of the labour bodies because their usurpation of power was not sanctioned by both the workers and generality of Nigerians. Today, Nigerian workers are being punished for taking a stand during the February 25 presidential election." End quote. Well, let's bring in Arise analyst Dr. Sam Amadi, who is in Owerri, to speak with us. Dr. Sam Amadi, good to see you. Let's start with Labour Party's support. What do you make of it, especially when it goes ahead to say, look, this is the federal government punishing Nigerian workers because, well, according to, the Labour Party, they voted the other way, not necessarily for this government. Is the Labour Party politicizing this strike?
Well, first, you can't say the federal government is punishing Nigerian workers because they didn't vote for them. Because Nigerian workers, I'm sure some of them voted for the APC, even if arguably maybe more voted for Labour Party and maybe the same for PDP. So, but essentially, Nigerian workers cannot be said as a whole to have voted for Labour Party and against APC. Again, Labour Party is a political party. And what political parties do across the world is actually to politicize socio-economic policies. That's very important to note. What I mean, the Labour Party in the UK, the first time they came to power was because they conceived an alternative policy around social welfare, social protection, and of course, the Webbs, Simeon and his wife at LSE, and other scholars, economists who of the left formulated the Labour Party social protection platform, which won them the election. And that was a time in which the UK had about 10% unemployment rate. So primarily, Labour rightly chose to side with working people against status quo, and they got into power. The reason why we want political parties not to politicize in the way of propaganda or in the way of antagonizing, abusing, or basically denigrating people in government, but politicizing the way of taking a stand on a major issue. It's obvious there are two different models of economic development in this country now. Those who are emphasizing what they can call the mainstream institutional no-liberal economic development policy, that whenever there's a crisis in the economy, we shave off labor, we reduce wages, we drop employment, we right size to make sure that capital, gets its value. There are those who argue that the right way to go is the way that the US did during the time when Alexander Hamilton was the Secretary of State, the way the US did in the days of FDR, and the way the UK, Britain did, even before and after the Great Depression. Also the way that Asian Tigers went, the way of shoring up social protection. So if a party, whether it's Labour Party or PDP, takes a position siding that workers-oriented version of economic policy making, they are doing the right thing. Because if you look at Labour, by the way, the problem with Labour is that Labour has not, among its legislators, among its candidates, have not really defined the politics around what should be a strategic, ideal Labour position. And so if the Labour Party endorses the workers' position on welfare, then they are playing a labor politics. That's what you expect from a labor party properly defined. So I would say, yes, they're playing politics the right way. The capital letter P politics, which is ideological, based on value system and commitments, not the P, small p politics, which is based on antagonism or based on manipulation or basically trying to get one over a president that probably they are still challenging the court. So it depends on what the position is. If they make a principled support for what workers asking for, asking for mitigation, asking for minimum wage.
Let me jump in here, Dr. Amadi, if you will. I'm looking at a statement from the Labour Party and how it started by saying it's not surprised at the government's apparent indifference. If the Labour Party, if I remember, had also told Nigerians that some of the key things or the major move of this government, it was also going to do that, and that's the removal, excuse me, of petrol subsidy. So let's say the Labour Party is already playing a shadow government. What would the Labour Party have done to make it not to be seen as insensitive to the plight of Nigerians after the removal of petrol subsidy?
Well, first, if a Labour government removes subsidy without putting a mitigation plan that revolve around making workers whole, whether by tax discount for a limited period of time, whether by increasing minimum wage, whether by kind of providing for maybe education, school fees, access to healthcare, even the Liberal Party, so the Democratic Party in the US under Biden, when during the COVID, you can see the American Care, US Care legislation had serious identified groups that were given tax rebate. There are those who receive cash back and different interventions to help to show people over a difficult time. Nigerians are going through terrible times, that's no doubt about it. If you look at, for example, minimum wage, even average salaries, and look at the inflation, last month alone, I think this month, the MBS reported about 25.8 or so annual inflation rate. So if you look at the increase in inflation, you look at the fact that we're dealing with both electricity, dealing with gas, dealing with also the impact of floating of the currency and the attendant rise in imports, and of course even some domestic products by knock-on effect, it means then that you probably, Labour Party properly defined, would be a party that may remove subsidy, but remove it, one, gradual, phased, and we phase out the price. If you phase out subsidy, you phase in containment, mitigation, that go together. So I don't know what this Labour Party would have done, because we've not had a Labour Party government, so we don't even know its coherence, its ideological coherence. And some people argue that the Labour Party will see a lot of PDP, pro-Marx, APC, some of the Labour leaders failed APC primary, went to Labour. So it's really difficult to say how Labour will behave. But going from example from the Scandinavia, Sweden, and so on, where you see at their history, the Labour Party created the Swedish very successful social democracy model. And that model will not remove the subsidy in the way it was done, and remove it without, in a matter of weeks, put in real mitigation. I've looked at the federal government response, and I've argued on Arise here, that they are more relating to incoherent industrial policy. That's to say, how do we grow the economy? Those are not palliative, those are not a mitigation of very immediate crisis of subsidy removal. So I think that Labour Party rightly would defend the alternative view. Right. But whether they are well-meaning, honest, or sincere will be a matter for APC to challenge. But essentially, there's nothing bad in the Labour Party endorsing a Labour movement position on social welfare. Right,
Dr. Sam Amadi, before we let you go, can Nigeria really afford another indefinite strike? And the president will be speaking October 1. What would you expect him to be saying about the worker situation or the situation of Nigerians?
I think the president should really use October 1st to address the three things. One, there's a sense in which the presidency is not really, people feel that they're not concerned about those immediate suffering. They have to really think around it. And for two reasons. One is that much reduction in welfare of the people will impact on consumption, which will also impact on production. Two, the president has to also, now become a champion of the working people. You know, the sense, I hear some of the present defenders argue about, oh, NLC, TUC endorse Labour Party, therefore their opponents. No, it's the president's responsibility to embrace them and say, look, I am a champion of the working people, because essentially the working people, not just in formal sector, informal sector, including farmers or the various people who are not entrepreneurs, who are not capitalists, who don't own capital, these constitute the bulk of the Nigerian poor. Right, and so the president should be there present. And thirdly, social stability is important as we move forward. So I think he should address those things. And finally, on the issue of maybe the strike. The strike is always a crisis. We should have strikes. If it's possible, the president and NLC should head off, and TUC should head off the strike if it's possible.
Well, it's a fine place for us to leave it there. Dr. Sam Amadi, many thanks for your time.